As you can see, we are back in the garage. This thing hasn't changed. Nothing's changed here. Nothing's changed there. Geo's still there. Everything kind of looks like how we left it, except for the E36 manifolds. So yeah, today is about the E36 because I have a bunch of parts for it, and I have pretty much everything I need to get this to not look this way. But the first task is I have to dig out a part out of one of these bins. I think it's the second one down. So I gotta get all that out the way, get the wheels out the way. Those are gone. Tell you something about that later, but this thing's just gotta get out the way. It's in my way. We got a ton of gaskets. I had to get manifold gaskets. I had to get the drive shaft bushing thing. So all the exhaust gaskets from the manifold down will be brand new. I have the oil cooler for the transmission. I have manifolds. I did the O2 sensors already. So pretty much at this point, I gotta get the car together. But I have to get the nuts off the studs that go into the head. All the nuts are stuck on the studs. So I have to grease those up, get them out before I can move on. But E36 stuff.
There's a gloss in there, by the way.
There's a wheel there. Yeah. Look at it. You can't have it. But yeah, I got to get the hood open on this thing, get my generator out the way, put that out the way, make some space just so I can work, and we can get to the business. Yeah, the latch. Yeah, this one's still in the fucking middle. Pull it up from that side. There you go. There you go. There you go.
I couldn't find it.
All right, so down here, I pretty much have everything apart. The manifold, this is the EGR crossover pipe, EGR or secondary air pump. I was gonna delete this, but it still works. So we'll keep it for the time being. And the manifolds, yeah, those are gone. Those are completely out. So the first task is to get those in. These are the bolts, the studs I was talking about that still have the nuts on them, as you can see. So I'm gonna try to get these out. If I can't, it's not that big of a deal. I can put them in just like this. Not gonna hurt anything. But ideally, if I can get them apart, that'd be nice for future purposes. I can Loctite the studs into the head and they won't come back out if I ever have to do this again. You do it once, you do it 17 times.
Inspection, the manifold.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm cleaning all the old material from the old gasket off of the surface. So that way when I go to put everything back together, I have a clean surface. Gio made my life easy. Peel this gasket off. This is the old gasket for that. This one still has it on it too. Go ahead and peel that off. Give it a little love. I gotta go pick up one nut for this stud, and then these are all gonna get brand new bolts. So that'll be fairly quick to put together. This is really the shitty part of this. It's just the prep. Clean these up good so I can spray them with manifold paint later on. Jump into the drive shaft.
A few moments later.
All right, manifolds are prepped. This thing is eating Takis. I'm getting under the car. I had to get an extension, like a extendable ratchet, because under the car, you heard me talk about the drive shaft stuff. So to start, all those bolts, those are 18mm bolts right there. They gotta come out so I can pull that rubber piece. See that shredded ass rubber piece in the middle? That's gonna come off. That bushing bearing's gotta come off. I probably gotta drop it from the diff in the rear as well, but I have to be able to get these bolts out. So I'm gonna go around, break these all loose, get everything ready, move the exhaust out the way. It's laying on the floor because it's not attached to the car. Once that's out the way, drop this down so I can start removing the whole drive shaft. I'm pretty sure when I take the front side off there, it'll let me drop the front portion of the drive shaft fully, and I can kind of just leave the rest of it hanging in the back so I can get the center support bearing right here out, swap that thing, and kind of start putting everything back together. I want to try to get the drive shaft done first so I can get out from under the car, get the exhaust pretty much ready to bolt back in, and at that point I can move on to the manifolds. I'll do that last because I want to buy some black high temp paint so I can paint the manifolds, paint this piece right here, kind of make it look a little cleaner when everything's under here. And yeah, as you see, Takis are done. So I'm gonna go under there. I'll let Gio record me next to me while I start breaking all these bolts loose, and we can go ahead and get the drive shaft out. Yeah, look at how bad that bushing is.
Disgusting.
Take a video of that. Yeah, you can see it's not supposed to do that. So yeah, that's why we're changing this piece of shit. Oh, that's ghetto.
What?
They're nuts. German cars, man. Yeah, what the fuck, nigga? What the hell? Update. I got an update. So the drive shaft is fully out. That was the biggest. That's pretty much what you saw me just doing. So for the drive shaft, where it connects to the body, the transmission is, there's this little area right here that kind of goes into the center bushing. The rubber bushing that I was talking about is this guy. So this thing is, it's seen better days. It's definitely seen better days. But I was able to get the rear part of the drive shaft out. The center support bearing is there, so that's what I got to take out and replace. I have the new one. Where's the new one at? I have a new one right here. I'll show you what it looks like. Brand new. This is what they look like brand new. So pretty much we're gonna end up taking this out and putting this in. So yeah, see how much prettier this thing looks? But yeah, this is new, that's old. I'll go ahead and dig out the center support bearing, and then I will start putting all this back together tomorrow. I have to go to the gym and it's getting kind of late, so this is pretty much the summary of what I got apart today. Tomorrow I'll come back in, I'll get that center support bearing put in, I'll get that rubber bushing put in, I'll get the full drive shaft bolted back up, I'll Loctite everything, grease whatever I need to grease under there, and then I can go ahead and put the manifolds in, put the exhaust together, and get the hangers all hooked up. I have to replace this one bad hanger. These are the clamp style hangers. One of them's still good, but the other one kind of broke. I got new hardware for that, so I'll be able to put these back together the way they need to be put together. And yeah, for the most part, we're making some progress. So yeah, let's go ahead and clean up, put this guy in the garbage can, put this under the car, dig out the center support bearing, clean up the work area, and we will be back just like this. And just like that, we are back for day 2 of the E36, right? Last we left off, we got the drive shaft fully apart. We have the new center support bearing, which I told you I had. This is the old one, and pretty much the way that this comes off, thanks to Sir Marcus Bodie right here, he told me basically he pulled a snap ring off. There's a little snap ring. I actually have it right here. Pull out the little snap ring, and that's gonna release this guy. You hammer it off, beat it out, and clean up your splines and get the new one on. But what I want to do while I'm under the car is, first I want to go down there and clean up some little messy areas. There's some dirt, fluid, and stuff around the trans tunnel I want to get rid of. And then I also got to go down there and empty out the transmission. So the transmission drain plug's up there. I have a pan over here. We'll go ahead and get the trans fluid changed out so we can fill it back up when we get the drive shaft in. And the main reason why I'm doing the fluid change in the first place is because, as you guys remember, the transmission cooler got ripped off the car and it drained a lot of the fluid out. So I'll top the fluid off. Like I said in the last clip, we have the transmission cooler right here. We have the bushing. Remember I was telling you guys, this is the old one. This is how bad it got. That's what's causing a lot of the vibration. And I have a brand new one right here. So we're good. We're gonna be able to get this thing back together. I have to make a couple little hangers and things like that for the exhaust, like I mentioned to you guys before, and we can go ahead and get this thing kind of settled out. For the time being, I'm gonna clean up some stuff first real quick. I'm gonna stop the clip, get the area cleaned up, prep my wheels because those are getting sold tomorrow morning. Hopefully these will be at a new home and I can go ahead and move on to the next part of this build, whenever that is. Don't get your hopes up. This car might not make it out this year, but that's okay. We got a lot to do to it. The focus is gonna be this one. So what? Let's see. Let's go ahead, pause real quick and get this area cleaned up. I'll get this prepped up on the bench up here and we can go ahead and start recording again when I'm ready to beat the center support bearing off this thing and move on with the rest of the process. All right, here we go. Let me get my drink out the way. So according to Sir Marcus, this should just hammer off. Pull this cap out. If it actually comes off. So you can see the splines being dirty. It's kind of hard to get that out a little. So just put some heat in that center race and see if it'll help. Oh, great. The rubber broke. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I think we're resorting to cutting. I can cut the race and get it out. I think we're gonna try it.
A few moments later.
I should be able to use a chisel, split that inner race in half, get it out. Yep, I think that worked. This guy. There we go. A little harder than I wanted it to be, but we have successfully taken the race off. So let me fix this shield up real quick. This little shield keeps dirt out of the bearing, creates like a washer type of thing. Get this guy strained out a bit. I might just pull it off real quick. We'll do this. Get this all squared away. Yeah, pretty washer now. Let me go ahead now, clean up my area real quick. Let me pause this clip, clean up the stuff I don't need out of this table, and then we'll go ahead, clean the splines up like I said we're gonna do, and we'll go ahead and reassemble this with the new center support bearing, and move on to the fun stuff. So be right back. Now, you guys almost fell again. So now, splines are all cleaned up, nice and pretty. Go ahead and get this guy back in. You guys over here. I'll just work right here. So we'll go ahead and get this guy back on. Let me tap it softly. All right, so we got that part done. Now, get this guy in there. All right, now drive shaft is done. Sorry, I went the wrong way. Drive shaft center support bearing is officially in, straightened out where it needs to be, nice and yeah. Got the little washer back in, got the snap ring back in, cleaned up the splines. This goes in like that. That's the front shaft, rear shaft, center support bearing in the middle. So now that we got all this done, God, come on, get off. Before I jump into the all that stuff over there, I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go ahead and get the manifolds in. I didn't pick up the paint. That's the only thing I didn't pick up. So we might go take a little road trip because I would love to have these painted before I put them back in. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We might as well. We're back with the goods. I got myself a little hand pump for the transmission fluid, VHT, epoxy paint so I can touch on my barrel, and some VHT flame-proof black, like matte black paint for the headers. So let's go ahead and get this all unloaded and we'll get back to the E36. All right, headers, manifolds, whatever you want to call these. We're gonna go ahead and take these outside, spray them down, clean them real good, and that'll allow us to start spraying some paint on these guys. 2 of these, put that one there, that way I can go ahead and clean it. All right, here we are. So this stuff dries in matte black, so it's not gonna be super shiny, kind of like this cap, like a little matte satin type of color. But these are sprayed down on the first side. I'm gonna let these kind of cure a little bit, clean up some of the stuff I don't need. I took the actuator off the crossover pipe, cleaned it up as best as I could. I don't know if I'm gonna tape this up and spray it silver. I have this like flaky silver wheel paint. I'm not sure. I'm gonna think about it. And then we have the manifolds curing on the one side. Once this dries off, I can flip them over, spray the back side. Same thing with the crossover pipe itself. I missed a spot right here. These areas I couldn't reach.
A few moments later.
If you guys recall, I mentioned that when I did my manifolds, I'll show you guys what it is I'm talking about. Let me get you. When I did my manifolds and I took them off, the studs came out with the nuts out of the manifold, like the head, the mounting surface to the head. So I'll show you. Most of the studs right now have the nut still attached to the stud, which I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. I can kind of get them all, they're all kind of the same depth, so I don't see any issues with that. But I don't want one of these to be longer than the other, and then I crack the head. But I think what I'm going to do first is see if I can get any of these apart. I think I'm going to run out of time today, but that's okay because I can continue tomorrow after I go sell my ritters, my wheels. I can go ahead and continue. So let's go ahead and gather all the hardware. Actually, I'm not even gonna do all that. Let's just take you guys. I'm just gonna leave them all here. Finish spraying paint. I might jump in and do the transmission cooler. So pretty much, I have a power steering leak, which is obnoxious. But yeah, we're pretty much gonna end up running this. The transmission cooler is gonna come off from the factory hard lines. I'm gonna cut the old soft line section off, clamp the hoses straight to the pipe up there. The two pipes, you can't see them. I wish I had a flashlight, but there's metal here and there's metal here after the soft line. Clamp them up, and I'll have two hoses running to the new transmission cooler, which I'm gonna try to have centered right in between the grill so I get to as much airflow as possible. But I think first off, we'll go ahead and take all the bumper stuff off, get the trim pieces off, take the screws out the bumper so I can get the bumper off and give myself more work room. And I also got to fix this grill. It was zip tied in originally. I have new tabs for it and like new clips for it. So go ahead and try to get that on. But the bumper, at least for the most part, I gotta see which one wants to come off first. Yeah, these trim pieces kind of just pop out on both sides like this. Yeah, like that. I gotta tap them a little bit. Yeah, there we go. No broken tabs. Awesome. Get this one off too. So it's from this side. I don't have any on that side. Go ahead and put these in the car so I do not lose them. But damn, where is my Allen key? All right, I'll be right back once I get it off because I'm gonna have to use hand tools and any both my hands. So I'm dumb. I did it again. So remember last video I said I lost a bunch of clips? I learned why I did it. When you're using the iPhone and you pause a clip, if your phone locks, it deletes the clip. You have to end it. Anyways, I found the Allen key, got the bumper off. I'm gonna clean up that oil spill. But with the bumper off, I put the nuts all back in, or the bolts back into the bumper so I don't lose them. I'm not gonna mess with the studs. I'm gonna leave them alone. I'm gonna trust my gut and put them back in the way that they came off. What I did in the meantime, after I got that off and I let my phone charge for a little, is I flipped over the two manifolds and I sprayed the back. Got the backside sprayed, the backside of the center pipe, and while I was at it, I still spray painted the solenoid, the actuator, whatever you want to call it. Spray painted that black. I kept the plastic cap off of it, so silver, so I can keep the cap black. Right now I'm just waiting for all that to cure, and while I let it cure, I'm kind of just getting parts together, making sure I have all of my gaskets. So I need I have a set of these, which are the crossover pipe gaskets. I have my gaskets for the manifold, and then I have my two lower gaskets. We also have the transmission cooler. These are all the bolts for the manifolds. And bolts for the manifolds there, since the studs were pushed out before I bought them by the previous owner, because as you guys know, they usually snap. Let's go for
What are you saying?
Let's wait for the paint to cure. And while the paint cures, we'll get the inside of the car kind of cleaned up a little bit, get some of the stuff out, get the charger back on the battery, make sure that thing stays charged, and then we're gonna figure out our manifold. Oh my God, it's been a long day, guys. Figure out our exhaust hanger situation. This thing is the hanger, and there's a bolt right here. The bolt snapped, so what I plan on doing is using my own bolt. And the way that this works is that it grabs and it pinches, or this way, one or the other. It holds the edge, kind of like this one. On this one, the bushing is beat, but this exhaust isn't staying on the car too long, so we're gonna run it. But for the time being, we're gonna size this guy up, kind of figure out like where it's gonna lay. Cute little guy. Figure out exactly where this guy's gonna lay, because I am thinking about rerouting the lines this way so they don't sit too low. And with that, I can put it right here, mount it up real pretty, and the lines come out from the sides, which I think ideally would be the smoothest way. Or I'll even move it over to the side a little bit. I don't mind having it kind of close, just as long as the lines work smoothly and don't touch any metal. Or I might have to put it further away so they're at a more of a natural position. Thought about doing it this way too, but then the issue that I have is that the lines are going to make a curve under the radiator and they're going to be close to the edge here. I don't want it to rub. On this side it's smooth, so I can make a plastic transition. But let's kind of figure this out, get this fuckery all out the way, start draining fluid. And I think that is probably where we're gonna stop for this part, because my parents are coming over to visit, hang out with them for a little bit, you know, enjoy time with the family. Tomorrow I have a road trip to go deliver the Ritters to their new owner, so we'll go ahead and wipe those down with some hand wax, clean them up, make them look pretty, check it all out, make sure that's good, and touch up that barrel. I wish I could have got more done today, but listen, this is the same video, so we're gonna keep it rolling. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And day 3 days is taken, and the drive shaft is still out. But to recap, gotta make sure my head don't look crazy. To recap, today we just have to get things assembled. I did do some work off the camera, so don't hate me, but I took some time out this morning and mounted the cooler. I got the cooler all mounted where it's gonna stay. Bent some of the fins up, but I ordered one of those little tools to fix them. I got the hoses prepped and laid out, so those are ready to go in where they need to go in. I cut the other remaining sections off the transmission lines that I don't need, and pretty much at this point I can just kind of start working on getting it together. But before I do that, today's weather is, let me check the Apple Watch. It is 62 degrees out, if it ever loads. 60 degrees out right now. So take some time out and wash the cars. That's dirty. This is dirty. Get them cleaned up so I can start the week good. I go back to work tomorrow because my finger is pretty much healed. The little skin bubble of blood that's supposed to happen, but for the most part, we are back to normal. So I can go ahead and get the truck washed. I got some soap, I got some degreaser. I'll probably set you up and get a little bit of time lapse of me doing that. Boom, cars are washed. Truck, car, clean, everything's beautiful, and the fun is now. To save you guys the despair of having to watch me struggle with the exhaust and the drive shaft, I put it all together real quick off camera, and oh my god, flashbang. The exhaust and the drive shaft, as you can see it up there, is in and bolted up. We don't have a lot left that we necessarily need to do other than figure out some simple things. I have to connect the O2 sensors, which I have the wires thrown up here for. Finish tightening up some nuts and stuff. I heard a little exhaust leak, which means yes, I did start the car off camera, and I heard it run, which means I know I have an exhaust leak. I don't know if it's from the manifold, I don't know if it's from the secondary air pump stuff, but that's fine, it's not terrible. I'll show you in a couple minutes here, but what I do have to do now is I have to go ahead and get the transmission cooler plumbed up. So I have a couple little fittings and some lines and some hoses and stuff, so it makes my life a lot easier. But in reality, that's all I have left to do. Let's go ahead and get down to the dirty stuff. I'll probably set you up. You can watch some time-lapse stuff of me playing with the transmission cooler. And we'll come back when we're ready to actually start this thing back up and tidy up the things that need to be tidied up. All right, so as you hear, the car is running, it's on. Tires are spinning, which means the transmission is good. Drive shaft is mint. Transmission fluid is the only thing I'm topping off. And I got the cooler done. If you look down, transmission cooler is in. It's chilling right here. It's in drive right now, so it's getting fluid put into it. So that should work. It should do its job. The car is warming up right now, so I can check the fluid when it's warm one more time, check the oil. The last thing I need to do is this car has a factory X brace underneath the subframe in the front. That's what keeps me from breaking my oil pan. I gotta put that back on. Bolts in, clean up underneath the car. I gotta put transmission fluid in my power steering, yes. Trust me. Do that, get the car back on the ground, and potentially test drive it. As you see by the lopsided E36 and the 2 jack stands, we started taking the car off. I fixed the power steering line that was leaking, checked the transmission fluid, let it warm up until the fan kicked on, which it just turned on. So I know that everything works. We're just gonna take this corner off the jack stand. I don't know why I'm screaming, I got a mic on. But I'm gonna take this corner off the jack stand, as you're gonna watch me do right now, and hopefully get the bumper on and go test drive this thing. I'm definitely an idiot. Turned my mic off. But as I was saying before I fucked up and didn't turn the mic on, the car is in one piece and it's all functioning, driving, moving under its own power. So now the only thing left to do is actually test drive it. You know, see the steam coming out the exhaust from it being in the garage for however long, what, 4 months almost. But yeah, let's go test drive this thing.
A few moments later.
Feels good for the most part. The drive shaft feels good. It's shifting. It's not overheating. I can stop. All the necessities are necessitating right now.
It's a car again.
Yeah, I forgot how much it didn't scrape, which is weird to me. But yeah, we're gonna drive this thing around for a little bit. Just kind of feel it out.
Gucci got the glow. I drink till I'm drunk, smoke till I'm high, castle on the hill, wake up in the sky. You can't tell me I ain't fly. I know I'm super fly. I know I'm super fly. The ladies love luxury. That's why they all fuck with me. Out here with the moves, like I invented smooth. You can't tell me I ain't fly. I know I'm super fly. I know I'm super fly. Now watch me fly. Now watch me fly. You can't tell me I ain't fly. I know I'm super fly. I know I'm super fly. I'm so fly, I don't need no flight attendant. Big Cuban link, don't need no pendant. I ain't never had no pot to piss in. Yeah, now all my records trending. Oh my, came from stealing bikes, flying another G5. I don't know why I ain't smoking this cherry pie so much, but this my...
So you just watched the B-roll, so you know that the car is clean. And that's it. It's done. That's pretty much it. There's nothing else. It's just this far.
Why are you still watching?
Yeah, why? If you watch this far... Nah, I appreciate you if you watch this far. You're special. You're special. Nah, but the car's done. It's clean. It's pretty good to go. We're going to drive it home, and hopefully it's going to survive to see another day. It's like some more cool parts. It's like some more cool parts for the car. So yeah, I mean, other than that, what do I got? Thank you for watching. I got some jobs coming, some cool cars you might get to see. Like, most likely gonna see it. That way we can get some videos out and yeah, get back to it. That's all there really is. We'll get back to the content. I'll start posting roughly every week, hopefully every week or something like that, and show you what it is that I'm doing with this thing mainly, and some of the stuff that's going to be happening with the M2, and what we do with all the other cars that are going to come into the shop this winter, because you know people are going to be coming in for work, which if you're watching this, hit me up, get on the schedule. I'll have openings until April, roughly April, May. I'll get you locked in, we'll set something up, the car will be done in a couple of weeks, and you're going to be happy. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, like, comment, say something, say hi, tell me you watched the video, that's cool too. you know. But yeah, hit the like button, subscribe. That guy's behind the camera. I'm looking at him right now.
Stop. Yeah. No, bro. Nah, all right. And